if you're part of a regular crew, you really get that feeling intense loyalty very strongly, and I think that's one of the things I love about rowing. I do love rowing in a crew boat. I started 1958, tender age of 14. You felt a real sense of belonging, and I think that's one of the main things I got out of it. We were schoolboys, and you went in a schoolboys race, and if there were 18-year-olds and you were 14-year-old, you tend to lose. You were thrown in an 8 and expected to get on with it. But we had a very, very good coach. He made us competitive, and with his enthusiasm, we became very competitive, and we worked at it hard. We gelled, and we got to the stage where none of us wanted to become good enough to get into the first 8. What we really wanted to do was beat the first 8. I loved it so much because of the element of being part of a community. We came up against Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge. Now, the only thing we knew about Cambridge University was they raced Oxford at the boat race. So as far as we were concerned, we were up against Cambridge University Boat Club. And I can remember now the absolute exhaustion. We've never rowed so fast. We put everything into it. And we beat them by about half a length. And I just collapsed. I do remember that feeling of absolute exhilaration, beating somebody that we thought was the bee's knees. That lives with me, and I wish I could relive a race like that again. I left school and I went on to Birmingham University. I joined the rowing club there. We had a few races and a few moderate successes, but there wasn't the same commitment that there was in the school rowing clubs. It was a nice community, but it was more of a drinking club. Probably aided and abetted by one of our members, a guy whose family owned Robertson's Brewery. Whenever we went to a regatta, he'd generally bring a barrel of beer along. Wonderful memories. It was a good guy to have in the club. Now that really was fun. The Isle of Ely Rowing Club got going in the spring of 2004. It was almost exactly 40 years since I've been in a boat, and I suddenly realised it's like riding a bike. You don't forget. And it was just like I'd been in it yesterday. A couple of weeks later we were given an old 8. So I was back in an 8, and it was wonderful. I've now settled down to rowing as a pair with a colleague, Trevor. One thing I've found about coming back into rowing at this age is that it's absolutely brilliant for old people. And as an individual, having come back after a 40-year layoff, I don't consider myself as somebody who's been rowing all my life. I consider myself who's come into it late in life. The older rowers have got themselves organised. There's a very good racing scene. I'm currently category H, which is 70 to 75. And I love coaching, particularly older people. We get people turn up, 40, 50-year-olds saying, "You'll probably think I'm silly, but I'd love to have a go at rowing." And we say, "Great, come on." And we encourage those people. I love to see the look on their face when they start to make progress and they realise they can do it. As a club, I've got totally involved in it, and it is a community. It's wonderful.